Hello, and welcome to WMLT News. I'm Richard Babbage. What could have been a standard traffic dispatch turned for the worst last Sunday evening after two people wound up in the hospital after a police chase in Kanawha County. Around 7:20 in the evening, a Dunbar police officer attempted to pull over a motorcyclist at a local Go-Mart. According to a Metro 911 dispatcher, the police officer chased the driver of the motorcycle to Childress Road and Alum Creek. However, the motorcycle crashed and two individuals were hospitalized. The extent of the injuries and the cyclist's charges are not yet known. Toyota has shared some concern for hiring workers in West Virginia. In a meeting with Senator Jay Rockefeller to discuss the company's progress since the devastating Japanese earthquake last year, Toyota stated its troubles about hiring new workers for its West Virginia plants. Rockefeller said that the companies are doing well but are running into difficulties hiring new workers who are skilled in science, engineering, and math. Terry Arthur, the company's vice president, also raised the concern that when the generation of baby boomers retire, there will be no one to hire for their positions. The president of Toyota said that while West Virginia does offer vocational training, they do not offer the high-tech training and machinery that the company requires. Toyota recently announced it would boost production and create more jobs, making the 7th time the plant has expanded since it opened in West Virginia 15 years ago. Now with this week's Ticket or Leave It, Nathaniel Altair.
The new release The Hunger Games has caused lots of talk among moviegoers along with novel readers. This science fiction action drama is based on the novel by Suzanne Collins. The film is directed by Gary Ross and stars people such as Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, Elizabeth Banks, Liam Hemsworth, and Woody Harrelson. The film is set in an unidentified future date where they hold a raffle where one boy and one girl are picked at random to complete in the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games is a competition where each of them have to battle it out until there is only one left. The winner receives honor, gifts, and a large food supply. The 16-year-old girl, Katniss, volunteers to replace her younger sister in the games as she is placed against one of her childhood friends. Katniss must rely on her hunting skills, stealth, speed, and her wits in order to survive these games. 21 Jump Street was a drama television show that jump-started Johnny Depp's career that is now a hit movie where Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum play two undercover cops posing as high school students. This movie pokes fun at the idea that two men in their 20s can successfully pass as high school students. 21 Jump Street is a combination of a cop movie and the foul-mouthed drug comedy. 21 Jump Street has been reviewed as one of the funniest and most outrageous comedies to come along since The Hangover. 21 Jump Street opened at #1 in the box office this weekend and has a promising future. Now back to you at the desk.
The number of low graduating high schools is dropping, according to a new study. The schools, which have been referred to as dropout factories, has dropped from 1,600 to 1,500 between 2009 and 2010. The term dropout factory refers to high schools who graduate 60% or less of the number of freshmen who reported for class 4 years earlier. The report also said that the battle to meet a goal of 90% national high school graduation rate by the year 2020 will be won or lost in 13 states, which have a large number of students getting back on the track of graduation. Over the past decade as a whole, the number of high schools considered dropout factories has declined by 457. Tennessee and New York have seen the largest jump in graduation rates since the study began in 2002. An investigation is underway after some West Virginia University students partying spun out of control on St. Patrick's Day weekend. According to university officials, multiple students threw objects at police, set dumpsters on fire, and drank underage in public. A mass email was issued by WVU's Vice President Ken Gray, promising swift disciplinary actions. Morgantown police officials say that over 40 citations were issued to WVU students for drinking in public or drinking underage. Firefighters were also kept up all evening putting out the multiple arsons. Morgantown Fire Captain Ken Tennant said that the 18 dumpster fires, 17 street fires, and 1 vehicular fire had to be extinguished. According to Morgantown City Code, such fires can constitute a charge of felony 4th-degree arson, punishable by up to 2 years in prison, a $200,000 fine, or both. Welcome back to WMLT News. A Wyoming County man Welcome back to WMLT News. A Wyoming County man was arraigned on a charge of first-degree murder in connection with the March 1st stabbing death of a Princeton man. Gerald Wayne White Little, 60, was arraigned by video conference by Magistrate Jim Dent due to a scabies quarantine at the Southern Regional Jail. Little is charged with first-degree murder in connection with the death of Jerry Buckner, age 57, of Princeton. Buckner was found dead at his Honaker Avenue residence. He died of stab wounds to the neck. According to earlier reports by Mercer County Prosecuting Attorney Scott Ash, Little was arrested last week by the West Virginia State Police on a charge of a failure to register as a sex offender. Sergeant J.W. Howell of the Princeton Police Department said that Little served time in prison from 2005 to 2011 from charges in Raleigh County and Wyoming County before coming to Princeton in the fall of 2011. The Republican national presidential nomination is still up for grabs. Although Mitt Romney claims to have statistically sealed up a victory, his opponents Newt Gingrich and Rick Santorum have both proposed implausible scenarios in which one of them will unseat Romney as the future Republican presidential candidate. For voters in the coming election, the Republican candidate may very well be chosen on the last possible day. Tau Kappa Epsilon premiered the organization's first ever Speedo Run. TEAC held the event to raise money for St. Jude Children's Hospital. St. Jude Children's Hospital was founded by Tau Kappa Epsilon alumni Danny Thomas in 1962. Tau Kappa Epsilon officially adopted St. Jude Children's Hospital as their philanthropy of emphasis in 2008. The Speedo Run was the first fundraiser for the St. Jude Children's Hospital for the Concord University chapter of Tau Kappa Epsilon. The event raised over $160, and the TEACs plan on holding the event annually for many years to come. This week in sports, the CU baseball team defeated West Virginia Wesleyan 9-6 after a great performance by Josh Wanger, who hit 2 home runs and posted 5 RBIs in the victory. Last week, the softball team won 4 games on their annual spring break trip. They closed out the win streak with a doubleheader win against Robert Morris University at Springfield and Lycoming College from Pennsylvania. The Lady Lions finished the spring break event 6-2, raising their record to 10-8. In national news, longtime Indianapolis Colts quarterback Peyton Manning has agreed in theory to join the Denver Broncos. His contract is expected to be for 5 years and worth $96 million. Manning spent 14 years with the Colts but missed all of last year with a neck injury. The NCAA tournament is underway, and this year is not a good one to be a number 2 seed. On the second day of the tournament, both Duke University and the University of Missouri were shocked by mid-major schools Lehigh and Norfolk State University, respectively. Even more shocking is the fact that the victory over Duke is the first ever NCAA tournament game victory for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. All 4 number 1 seeds are still alive. However, the tournament favorite and overall number 1 seed, Kentucky, faces the Indiana Hoosiers on Friday. While Michigan State plays Louisville on Thursday, The other side of the bracket, number 1 Syracuse will play Wisconsin, and the Tar Heels of North Carolina face the heavy underdog Ohio, who will be cutting down the net. Who will be cutting down the nets in New Orleans? Tune in to find out. Tournament play resumes Thursday. On December 21st, 2012, the Mayan calendar has foreshadowed the end of the world. The Mayan civilization left behind much evidence of their superior abilities to predict solar events. Recently, however, scientists have discovered that the Mayans never accounted for leap years in their calendars. Some scientists have proposed the Mayans being wrong by about 60 days. Scientists also have pointed out that the calendars were written for 52-year spans so that they could make new calendars in order to account for discoveries of solar events. This would debunk the current doomsday scenario that many people have come to believe. Howard Jr. Curry of Fayetteville has been arrested for the murder of his wife and his 2 in-laws. Sheriff's deputies received reports shortly after 5 a.m. that a man had shot 3 people and was still armed. When they arrived at the scene and found the 3 bodies, 2 female and 1 male. The 2 women, Rexana Curry, who was 47, and 57-year-old Sheila Miller, her sister, were declared dead on the scene, and the women's father, Charles Treadway, 82, was transported to Plateau Medical Center in Oak Hill, where he later died. Sheriff Steve Kessler said that the motive for this triple murder remains unclear, and that murders usually do not happen in this age group. Cell phone use among teens has been said to alienate them from the surrounding world. But for U.S. teen, cell phones have become the key way for them to stay connected. Studies found that 63% of all teens say they exchange text messages with the people in their lives, including their parents. 28 say that they never text their friends, but then 23% of teens also do not own a cell phone. Studies show that cell phone usage have become a privilege among teens that come with age. Teens who have higher income families have a higher percentage of cell phones, as well as teens whose parents graduate from college or those who live in suburbs. Only 1 in 4 U.S. teens currently use a smartphone, in contrast to the 46% of U.S. adults. Teen girls also seem to outnumber cell phone usage in ownership over boys. Older girls will send an average of 100 texts per day, but teen boys' text percentage has now increased in the past 3 years. 1/3 of all parents report using parental control to help manage their kids' cell phone use, which limits website applications and the amount of texting. That's all for this week's WMLT News from Concord University. Tune in again in 2 weeks.